What does your eulogy say?
I don't want to be a product of my environment. I want my environment to be a product of me.
Prestige Living Podcast. So with that, who do you want to be?
Hello, welcome to Prestige Living. This is Jay O'Brien with another segment of Be Bold. Today's topic is a little bit dark, and it's one that I'm constantly thinking of almost daily, but especially in the last few weeks here. When people pass away, it's one of those times where you reflect on it even more, on this topic that is, and it becomes one of the things that might weigh a little bit heavier on you. We always hear, and maybe even are the ones saying, the phrases, life is short, or live life to the fullest, live like there's no tomorrow, and whatever other phrase that you've seen on a bumper sticker that resembles this sort of topic. And so often it's thrown out there, but do we really ever act on how impactful these words really are? And for me, it feels like, personally, for example, it feels like I graduated high school not all that long ago. In reality, it was almost 12 years ago, which, assuming a generous lifespan of, let's say, 84 years, was a seventh of my life ago. A seventh. Think about that. I mean, that is a huge chunk compared to the total years of breath I actually have in total, hoping that I don't pass sooner or get so sick or injured that I'm unable to enjoy my life for the remainder of the time. And assuming this hypothetical lifespan of, say, 84 years, that means I'm already roughly 36% to my expiration date. And I was only 21% back when I was graduating high school, which feels not all that long ago. And the reason I bring it up isn't to sound down or morbid. It's actually designed to have the reverse effect. Because when we postpone the awareness or neglect the inevitable shortness of our own entire life in terms of years, we end up putting ourselves in sort of like an autopilot mode, like we're already dead. Same job, same traffic, same mug, same paycheck, same bills, same routine, etc. And we just go on and on and on, living almost like we're already dead. But by really injecting frequent reminders of how rapidly our percentage to completion, so to speak, is increasing, we tend to feel a boost of necessity to actually do what we want, like act now or never. And really, there's only a finite period of time, if you think about it, where you'll actually have the time, the money, the energy, the health, the freedom to act this way, the way you want to. Life, the way I look at it, is a bell-shaped curve. In our infancy stages, we're unable to make decisions on our own. We don't have our own resources. We need to be cared for by someone else, and our freedom is massively limited. This is the child phase. Then we eventually graduate, we get a job, we move out, we start providing for ourselves, and more or less create our own schedules that we will choose to live by for a given period of time. And this is the point where you're able to decide if you want to buy a house or marry your significant other, have a baby, travel the world, start a business, whatever it is. This is your adult phase. And really, what would be considered someone's prime. And finally, we have the elderly phase, which consists again of several components of the once-lived infancy stage. We're unable, again, to make all of our decisions on our own. We don't have the resources that we used to. We often need to be cared for by someone else, and our freedom is again massively limited. Hence, the bell-shaped curve of life. So the point is, constantly reevaluate month after month, year after year, what exactly you're doing with your life. Be cognizant of the fact that you've made decisions that you're living by. Are you still happy with those routines, those decisions, those outcomes? If the answer is no, the time is to change now and not later. Even if you get a quote later, this is how I'm constantly thinking about the now and interpreting the cliche phrases of live life like there's no tomorrow. You really have to put things into perspective and analyze your level of happiness and fulfillment every single day. How will you remember your life? What will your regrets be? How will others remember you? What does your eulogy say? Be aware, stay alive, live on purpose, and be bold.
If you would like to be on the Prestige Living podcast or know someone that would be a great guest, go to www.prestigelivingpodcast.com. We'd love to hear your story.